Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Abby. If you're new here, I'm an artist, author, creator, and now Skillshare teacher. More on that later. But today I wanted to do a little catch up and share with you how I've been using my planners and journals over the past month. February is always this like in-between month where it's like, I think some of us lose this motivation to continue journaling, which I totally understand because it's also winter and it's so gray. Well, at least where I'm living in Berlin, it's very gray. And also just this feeling of like getting into a rut. I can feel my energy dip here and there. It's just that I've been so busy that I don't really have time to fully like surrender to rotting. That being said, I'm here to help you and hopefully give you more ideas and inspiration to keep going with your journaling journey. And you know, if you don't feel like journaling at a certain time of the month or week, it's totally fine. I always like to say, in general, life is a journey, not a destination. So it's also like, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. Wow, all these metaphors. But that being said, I'd love to share with you how I've been updating my planners and journals. So make sure to keep watching to know more about that, and I'll see you in a bit. Let's start off with my planners. I have mentioned both of these planners work in conjunction with each other, especially for the work that I do and the lifestyle that I have, because I mostly work from home, but also I have a lot of ideas, and then they kind of like mix into both of these planners, and I try to allocate whatever works for the day, for example, or for the week, or what needs to be done based on the requirements that I have due for that specific time frame. Also want to point out, these two pens have been my mainstays for both of these. So I always mention this, but this is the Uni Style Fit Meister pen, and it has 5 colors. Unfortunately, the black ink is already done, so I've been slowly using up the dark brown, and I don't really find any difference with it. It's fine with me. I thought I would be annoyed. You know, when you're writing and you're used to having it black, but the dark brown seems to be doing its job. And then this is also Uni. This is the Uni Ball 1, and it has a 0.38mm gel pen in black. So I love using both of these, and obviously this is the one that fits my plotter the most. If you haven't yet, I do have a video talking about my plotter setup for 2025. I will link it down below so you can have an idea of what the setup is for my everyday carry. So the plotter has been very good so far. 1 month in right now. Still have my little case here. I've been slowly collecting these like tea labels for, I don't know, for maybe a journal page. But I do have my first quarter on here. You're gonna see my schedule. It's very whack. But the monthlies have been really good because last year I didn't have monthlies, and I realized that they're really important for having an overview of what the month is gonna look like. Like, I'm recording this on like the first week of February, but I already know what to expect for the upcoming weeks. As you can see, it's all in black ink. I didn't really emphasize anything specific. I don't write my workouts anymore. I write them on the weekly, which you'll see later on, because I realized that I tend to change my schedule here and there, so at least I know what's on that day. So if I have a meeting or if I have specific appointments that I need to take note of, they're all here. And I also have been diligently writing my to-dos. My other to-do here is actually to watch A Complete Unknown. It's the new movie starring 𝚒𝚘𝚘𝚔 and Bob Dylan, so I want to put it there because February is Berlinale, and I think that's one of the special screenings that's gonna happen here in Berlin. This is March, so first quarter is all here. March 20th is my work anniversary. It's 10 years of ABC, so there'll be a lot of fun videos towards that time period next month. And then going on to the more recent weeks, this side is the life admin side, and then this right hand side is more the work side. But obviously with one small space every day, I don't really have enough space to write every single thing I need to do. So this to-do list one that I got from Knox the Refill has been really useful. I feel like I will use this way more than I expected. I also changed my therapy to red, so anything that's like health related, I kind of just put red so I know that it's like not work at all. On the right side, I still have kept the same format where it's like anything that's red is like due or what I have to do that day. So it's either it's a filming day, it's an admin day, I have to schedule the YouTube upload, for example. I know it's very simple, but I think the simplicity allows me to be flexible and not pay too much attention to how I organize my plotter, if that makes sense. Let's move to the second divider. So in English, this is you use your brain. It's funny because Filipino humor is like, I really love it because obviously I'm Filipino, but it's just like, I like this little award thing. But yeah, I've been diligently going through these to-do lists, as you can see here. And then I started this sheet where I wrote my expenses for work and life. Hopefully this will be easier for me as I do my own accounting for work as well, and like, you know, I declare my expenses. So it's just nice to kind of have a space to do that, because on my computer I kind of get lost in all the files, and I think this is a great way to kind of pull it together. There should be a better way to do this, but so far I like that it's there. So these are my notes from Belgium, which I actually have to take out. I wanted to try logging it in this format because I didn't journal while I was there, and I actually still have backlog, which I'll show you later. But it was nice to kind of jot down my thoughts and observations about the museums and new artists I discovered, for example, where I ate, or things that I like, observations. And I used to have a TN insert for this, traveler's notebook insert, then I realized like these loose sheets are actually good because then I can take them out and then shove it in my travel journal, and then if I need to get back to my notes, then I have it there on hand. I still haven't found a use for this fold out calendar thing. I think I'm gonna write people's birthdays on, and then yeah, my visa permit stuff. It's just here always because I kind of need it as like anytime I need to prepare, I have it on hand there. But yeah, I've been really enjoying the plotter. Still very happy about it. I thought I would find myself very conflicted with the size, but actually I think it really works in my favor, and that's always a good idea. For my Leuchtturm everything planner kind of dump, I don't know what exactly to call it, but it's just been something that I keep here on my desk, and it's been doing its job. It's been here since October. It's also very chaotic. Sometimes I'm like, is it okay that it's like this? Then again, I'm like, I don't need to set it up a certain way. So this was January, and there were just a lot of admin things that I needed to get done in January, apart from launching a Skillshare class and doing my creative mornings talk. So there was just like a lot of things, you know, start of the year things. You'll see that I have certain days where I really am on it and like, okay, Wednesday, this is all I'm gonna do. But sometimes throughout the week, it kind of diminishes towards Thursday, Friday. I don't know why. I think Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is like my peak working days, and then Thursday, Friday, I'm a bit more flexible depending on what hasn't been done, if that makes sense. I haven't really looked through these. Like, this is like the last week of January. Oh yeah, you can also tell if I'm panicking if I make something like this where it's like very organized, because this is my way of coping my Sunday scaries. I remember sitting through a cafe writing down all of this. The thing is, like, these to-dos, I actually haven't crossed them out, but I actually have finished them. These to-dos are like a working list of to-dos in a way that's like, I need to get these done for that week, and it doesn't matter when, I just need to get it done. So I have this little dump every start of the week, and I think that's been helpful in kind of organizing what I need to do and structure the day with that in mind. So yeah, meeting notes are still here. This is February 2025. Kind of like what I need to focus on for the month. I just want to share that I always keep a Field Notes notebook. I'm also an affiliate of Field Notes, so I'll link it down below if you want to get discount. This is the special edition that they made with Eastfork, which is so pretty. I want to show you, I got this mug from them as well. It's like my nighttime mug now for my tea. This is my content notebook, so this is where I plan storyboards, ideation, if I have meetings with my manager. This is where we kind of hash out ideas, and I like to have one every few months. Like, this probably will last me like a quarter. And what happens is, if I'm traveling or if I'm working remotely from a cafe, for example, I just put the field notes in, and obviously it's matches, but it really does the job. And I'm really, really happy with this planning situation, because then it transfers to my digital management for projects. I use Notion, so then everything kind of works together, and that's always what's important. So with planners, it's considerably easy to move forward and update it constantly, because, you know, the days go by, the weeks go by, and there's this constant need to like check everything off the list or plan for the next day. But I think with journaling, it's always this tricky in between of like, how much time do you want to commit to it, how much energy, and what do you actually want to write about. I've shared some tips and ideas in previous videos on this, so I will link them down below as well. But one thing that I want to talk about is journaling is really a great creative practice to exercise, not just in the new year, but now as the year goes by and you're finding this kind of respite from a very busy day. For example, for me, it's one thing I retreat to every time I go home from a very busy day or I end the work day, because I always say that even if I'm not journaling as part of my job, I would still journal, because for me, journaling is such a great way to tune into myself. And there are other ways I do that, by working out and like cooking and like activities that bring me joy. But journaling, I think, is very, very important. It feels like my own creative exercise, and it also stimulates my mental and emotional state, and it helps me understand myself better at a certain point in time. Which is why, if you'd like to learn more about journaling, I would love to thank today's sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives, with thousands of classes led by industry experts across film, illustration, design, freelance, productivity, and more. Skillshare can help take your career, skills, hobbies, passions, or side hustles to the next level. Also, in case you missed it, I launched a Skillshare class last month. It's entitled Everyday Journaling: 5 Creative Ways to Document Your Life. And we have over 500 amazing students right now. Thank you so much to everyone who took the class. If you haven't yet, make sure to check it out on Skillshare. I highly recommend taking it for an entire week. I actually included the 5 prompts so that you can do it on a weekday or a weeknight and kind of gauge how you would like to incorporate your journaling. But you can also do it on alternate days. But these prompts are very evergreen, meaning you can use them at any point. Well, except for the weekly recap, which you always do at the end of the week, for example. But hopefully these prompts will help you dive back into journaling and spark some ideas, give you some room to experiment on how you want to interpret these prompts into your own way of writing, into your own narrative. I've made it a mission and side quest this year to talk more about how journaling is a way to access our inner dialogue. So do look forward to those kinds of videos in the future. But yeah, make sure to check out my class on Skillshare alongside amazing classes from lovely and super talented teachers, not just for me for journaling, but there are a lot of different ones that would suit your taste. So the first 500 people to click the link in my description will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Get started today. I still find it funny that it's been a month, but I haven't decorated my cover. Initially, I had a patch, I had like a sticker, something temporary, but I think I want to sit on it and kind of design it accordingly. I did pull out, like, this is an old Berlin photo booth photo that I have. I was working on it, but I just need some time to kind of sit with it. But like, I also have like loose sheets of Van Gogh sunflowers, so I don't know. I kind of want to work on it and like mindfully like schedule a night where I could just design it. The thing is, with journal covers, I have to be able to tolerate it for an entire year, and I can be very fickle with designing. I would love to make it something that like I love seeing every day, so it's a very hard challenge, you guys. So chunk check, I think we're doing pretty fine. Want to shout out to May for sending this. So cute. And I have not really worked on the yearly index. If you have suggestions for me, I'd be super open. As well as the monthly, I have not done anything. Shame. But I don't know, monthlies on journals just never worked in my favor, so I'm trying to make peace with that because, you know, I'm still doing the dailies. I guess my new tradition that I want to carry over and kind of start this 2025 is every start of the month, I do want to letter a quote. So this is for the overarching 2025. You'll notice there's like, why is it immediately January? I did an error with sticking my vision board. I tore it out. No shame here. So I really love this quote, what is for you won't go past you. I actually saw it on a trip to LA last summer. It's by the Arts District. There's like a sign there that says what is for you won't go past you, and it's been living rent-free in my head ever since. My pages have been pretty consistent. I want to say that one thing that I also added is I try to do a lot of these like headlines now, just because it's easier for me to capture the day. I also have put a lot of tea bags because I drink a lot of tea. I've been really enjoying the shifts of the color because right now whatever is inked on my fountain pens is basically the inks that you see on my journal pages, and I'm probably going to change it up come February. I think the chunkiest one that I only have is my birthday because it's the only time of the year I allow myself to paste an Instax photo of myself. The thing about these photos also is they take up so much space, so I don't want to keep adding as much. I also started the year saying like I won't be sticking ephemera anymore, but you know, it's something that I kind of accumulate as the days go by, so I always think like it's nice to add a little context or information about the day and like recap it that way. Obviously, this is one of my favorite ones where I was doing a full-on museum trip to Belgium, and so I had extra ephemera from my trip, and this one just ended up being nice and like in this green colorway. I have gotten questions about how to match journal pages or like pick out stickers, so I'm definitely interested to share more about that, like how I design these pages in a certain way. I think throughout the process of documenting every day in this journal, I really realized that this is such a great format. I'm not saying that just because I made a Skillshare class out of it. I'm saying that because that's the reason I made a Skillshare class out of it, and it's also the reason why this is the second year that I've really started to journal every day. And as usual, the way that I write it is very mundane. It's not much of a feelings thing. I'll show you later how that looks like, but it's really things that are very mundane that allow me to really pay attention and appreciate life more. For example, yay for sunsets past 4 p.m. I mean, I love that the days are longer now. I also love that there are certain details that are satisfying to me. Like for example, when I was working on this page, I was like, oh, I'm gonna get this sticker. It's from the Paper Society paper book, and then I used Everyday Explorers Co sticker, and I was like, ooh, the orange matched the flowers, and then I used a green ink to match the drink. I know it's so simple, but as a designer, I really love how color plays an important role in how the journal pages look like. And on the right hand side, it's still a bit matching with the Chinese New Year theme, and I just decided to, is this a crane? I just decided to put in a little sticker to kind of balance out the heaviness, or like this sticker is pretty big. Quick shout out to Michelle. She gave me a lot of Moomin samples, washi tapes. I super love them, and the way that they were illustrated and designed are super nice. So I've been using it diligently on my journal pages. This is a fortune cookie that I opened. I was like, did I put it there? But because it's white, I wasn't able to notice it. So February, I also added a quote. So this is a quote from a book that I read this year from The Wedding People. It's very thought-provoking. It's the last book that I read before starting February, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna put it there. For here, I used the monthly sticker that I designed for Patreon. I like that it just fits seamlessly. Again, size matters. I've been in this like Hawaii kick recently. So these are stickers by Megan Wang. Super love her work. Shout out to Megan. And then these ones are from Jess of 𝚒𝚏𝚘𝚔. Both talented people. So I was like, oh, I think it would be nice to kind of add these little kawaii elements. And I'm really branching out because usually I just do my vintage theme, and sometimes it just gets like, oh, it's like, oh, it's the same thing over again. So I like that I'm able to try this out. And I was having a bad day, but you can't tell because it looked so colorful. But yeah, it was a bad day. Asking for help era, for sure. But yeah, that's been the days so far. I wanted to put this Hello Kitty because yesterday I hung out with Yana and she loves Hello Kitty, and I had an excuse to use my Sanrio stickers. I've still been consistent with the headlines, like the header things. I just don't do it as frequent, but it's something that I definitely want to carry over. But yeah, it's been a great month so far in my Hobonichi. I think compared also to last year, I have been more intentional on how I journal on these pages. I think the more you do it, the more intentional and the more mindful you become. That's what I think, and I think it's a great exercise also to figure out how you want to take this forward or what you want to write about and kind of inform your story that way. For my remaining traveler's notebook inserts, so you may remember that this is my travel journal and this is my reflection journal. So I'll just quickly show you this. It's a very confidential, so yeah, I can probably show you like one page. So I've just been really experimenting on how I wanted to approach this because it's very freeform, and in the end, I think if I feel like there's a need to write something down or I'm just like not feeling okay, this is a way that I kind of regulate with my emotions and deal with it and kind of write it out. I think in hindsight, one thing that I would definitely change from this is I used to write every Saturday or Sunday. I think I want to do a midweek check-in instead, so then I can have like time to release some emotional things and then move on with the rest of the week and then write again on Sunday or Saturday, so then I'm not spending too much time wired writing this. But this is the Notes and Wishes insert from Note and Wish. And yeah, I've been loving this. I find it so funny because it's not as chunky as usual for a traveler's notebook insert, but it's still on my desk and I don't take it with me while I'm traveling, so it's just nice and handy. On the topic of traveling, I recently got back from Belgium. This is probably the third time I said this on video, but I haven't really sat down and like finished up my journal. I have a bunch of ephemera here from my trip that I have yet to sort, tickets and stuff and maps. But this is MD paper white insert, and I haven't filled it up. I think I'm gonna kind of pace it out throughout the year, like Europe trips. Just a quick announcement, I'm actually doing workshops in London this May, so I definitely want to have an insert for that, and the tickets are available. So I'll leave the link down below for you if you want to check it out and sign up at the Miso Paper event. Here are a couple of pages that I've started to work on while I was traveling to Belgium. Just more packaging, ephemera, and this is a page about museums in Antwerp. I really like that I kept all the logos, I guess, and like announcements to every museum that I went to, so that kind of informed the layout of the page. It's very word heavy. But yeah, I also didn't fill this up. It's kind of a shock to me because usually when I have my travel journals, they're really filled to the brim. But I think there's also something to be said about my intentions this year, where I feel like I don't think I'm going to travel as much as I used to. I think it's a change that's more internal rather than like because of the journaling thing. So yeah, that's been my daily and travel journal updates a month in. So that's it for this video. I know it's pretty chatty, but I like to chat a lot about journals and planners in case you haven't noticed yet. But yeah, I hope you have gotten some tips also on how I've been documenting the past few weeks. I want to say that I'm really glad about the notebooks and basically the journals and planners I decided to move forward with this year, because usually first few months is where you kind of do the test run because you never really know until you use them, right? And these have been like a combination of the systems that I've been using since like 2018 that kind of just shape-shifted over the years, and I'm pretty glad with my choices. I know not everyone is like fully contented with their systems, but I want to let you know there's always a chance to switch it up, find a way to change it that tailors to your needs. I also want to say that it's also going to be spring soon, and brands like 𝚖𝚘𝚘𝚔, I'm not paid to say this, brands like 𝚖𝚘𝚘𝚔 have like the spring edition. I remember when I was like struggling getting a planner, I ended up getting a week's spring edition. So you know, it's never too late to change. It's always a matter of seeing how things go and experimenting, because the more you experiment on your journaling style, your planning style, the more you're able to discover what truly works for you in that certain time frame. Again, pay attention to yourself and kind of analyze how everything is going for you. Is it a chore? If it's a chore, change it, you know? Is there any way that can motivate you better to journal? Maybe it's a time of day. There's so many factors that really contribute to this kind of habit. For me, one thing that works right now is like every Monday I go to a specific cafe to plan for like an hour, and then I feel significantly better. So those little routines, lock them in, make sure that they're existing, because they will allow you to, well, not only update your journals and planners, but actually get things done and document your days. So thank you so much for watching once again. I'll see you on the next video. One last thing before I leave, I am looking for video ideas that you'd love me to create in the next couple of months. This year, I really want to expand my creator horizons on YouTube. I really want to make better videos. I know they're good, but I have a certain standard I want to reach when it comes to creating videos. I really want to focus on being a creator this year, and I'd love for you to suggest ideas in the comments if you'd love to see more videos on journaling, obviously, but fountain pens, vlogs, things that have been in your curiosity radar for the past few years, because this is also the 10th year of my creative career. So next month in March, I'm going to be sharing a lot of more personal things that you probably have not known about me or like stories from my past growing up in Manila and how everything kind of shape-shifted and transformed into the current version of Abbey that you're watching right now. So thank you so much for watching, and yeah, I'd love to know if you have any suggestions. Just leave them in the comments and let's chat over there. I'll see you in the next video and take care. Bye!